Thank you. All right, we'll move into section 6 for personnel matters. And recommended actions. We need a motion.
Motion to approve the personnel matters for April 13th, 2026, to include all the things recommended.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion's passed. And with that, we would like to take a quick moment to say congratulations to our new Director of Instruction and Grant Writing, Dr. Patty Reese, and we will be very shortly looking for a principal to replace her as we make that transition over to central office. Oh, she's over there. So usually you're over there. You switched it up on us. We're sorry. I'm looking going, well, there's the rest of them, but there she is. And congratulations. All right, and now we move on to section B for release for compulsory attendance.
Motion to approve the release of compulsory compulsory attendance for students 25 and 26 for the school year.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And we move into section 7 with consent agenda for the approval of the bills.
Motion to approve the April 13th consent agenda is presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, consent agenda passes. And now we move to the fun stuff for the night with recognitions and presentations. And our first is our VSB art contestant first place winner. Very exciting. Uh-oh.
Test. Oop.
We have it.
Okay, so I have here with me this evening Mrs. Broxton, our art teacher from the primary school, and I'm going to ask Landon Brown to join us. Is Landon here? Yep, there he is.
There he is.
All right. The VSBA Regional Art Contest was started in 1989 to promote the artistic talents of Virginia's public school students. For each of the 9 VSBA regions, a winner is chosen for the elementary, middle, and high school levels. The winning art is framed and displayed in the offices of the VSBA in Charlottesville. This spring, local school board members were treated to an impressive display of creativity and faced tough decisions in selecting the 2026 winners of the VSBA Central Regional Art Contest on March 17th. Student art from the elementary, middle, and high school levels representing each school division in the competition were judged at this regional forum for area school board members. All first place winners are automatically placed into the VSBA statewide student art contest. The winners will be determined in early June, with results announced in a press release immediately following the selection. Statewide winners will be invited to attend the 2026 VSBA Conference on Education, where they will be recognized on July 16th. Each statewide first place winner will be honored with a $1,000 award and a commemorative trophy recognizing their achievement. We are very proud because Landon Brown, a Madison Primary School student here with us tonight, won first place for our region in the elementary division. We want to congratulate him tonight, and we have a certificate, and you can see his amazing artwork on our screen.
It is a very big deal.
Congratulations, Landon.
Great job, Landon. right. And next up, Senior of the Month.
Good evening. At this time, I'd like to welcome Kermit Kelly to please join me at the podium. Madison County High School is proud to recognize Kermit Kelly as our April Senior of the Month. Kermit is known throughout our school as a kind-hearted and warm individual who brings his own unique energy wherever he goes. With his signature laid-back personality, positive spirit, and a great sense of humor, Kermit leaves a lasting impression on everyone he encounters. He approaches life with reflection and steadiness while never losing his spark for fun. His impact extends far beyond the classroom. As a senior member of the cross-country team, he quickly emerged as a leader. Despite battling an injury throughout most of the season, he demonstrated unwavering determination. He still chose to attend every single practice, complete rehabilitation with dedication, and support his teammates every step of the way. Whether competing or cheering from the sidelines, his positive attitude and encouragement uplifted his entire team. On the wrestling mat, Kermit has been a dedicated athlete for 4 years. His perseverance and mental toughness helped him grow into an all-district and an all-region wrestler, as well as a state qualifier and team captain. Beyond his own success, he constantly gives back, serving as a mentor to younger athletes through the Mountaineer Wrestling Club and setting a powerful example of what leadership and commitment should be. In the classroom, he is equally admirable. He approaches challenges with resilience, viewing them as opportunities to grow. He is always willing to try new things and maintains a calm and steady attitude that contributes to a positive learning environment. He embodies the qualities of perseverance, leadership, but most importantly, kindness. His dedication to his teammates, his school, and his own personal growth make him truly deserving of this recognition tonight. We congratulate Kermit and look forward to seeing all that he will accomplish in the future. Congratulations. Congratulations to his parents and his family as well. Congratulations again.
Kermit.
Next up, we have our wonderful Karen Householder, who is our support staff member for MCHS. If Karen would please join me at the podium. As our lead cafeteria employee, better yet, we like to say our cafeteria queen, she constantly goes above and beyond to create a welcoming and positive environment for anyone and everyone who walks through our cafeteria. She plays a vital role in hosting student events, and recently, under the instructions of Anna Graham and myself, she did an outstanding job catering the Hall of Fame event where she fed over 350 people without hesitation. Her attention to detail and dedication truly shined in that event. She brings creativity and joy to everything she does, whether it's organizing cooking contests with dishes chosen by Sheriff Eric Weaver, or turning an ordinary moment into something memorable by having Mr. Kabricki and myself dress as king and queen to serve breakfast to our students. Not quite sure how she did that, but she did. Moments like these are just a small glimpse into the energy and care she pours into our school community. It's easy to see why she is so appreciated, but even more to see how she is truly loved by us. Karen is a great leader to her staff, always leading with positivity, kindness, and a smile. She fosters an inviting atmosphere where students feel comfortable, but most importantly, they feel valued. She takes the time to listen to students' opinions and works hard to offer a variety of food choices that meet their needs and preferences. Her commitment to excellence, along with her happy and uplifting spirit, makes a lasting impact on our entire school community, not just MCHS, but MCPS. Congratulations, Karen, on this well-deserved recognition. MCH loves you very, very much.
Congratulations and thank you so much for what you do.
Up next, we have our Teacher of the Month for MCHS, Miss Cheryl Paramore. If Cheryl would please join me at the podium.
Man,
Cheryl and I go way back. Tonight, we are proud to recognize Cheryl Paramore as our Teacher of the Month. This honor is incredibly well-deserved, as Cheryl truly serves as the backbone of our CTE department. She keeps everything running smoothly, often behind the scenes, ensuring that both students and staff have what they need to succeed each day. Her work ethic is unmatched. From assisting writing grants to secure additional funding to continuously finding new ways to enhance our programs. She is always pushing CTE forward. Because of her dedication, our program continues to grow stronger each day. Cheryl is also a strong and effective leader. She holds high expectations and isn't afraid to maintain structure and accountability, qualities that are essential to a successful program. Strong programs are built on strong leadership, and Cheryl exemplifies that each and every single day. Beyond her professional excellence, Cheryl is deeply compassionate and supportive. She takes the time to check in with others, celebrates milestones, and ensures that everyone feels valued. She doesn't just build a program, she builds meaningful relationships. And that is what this business is all about. We are incredibly fortunate to have Cheryl leading the way at MCHS. Please join me now in congratulating her on being named Teacher of the Month. Thank you. And we look forward
Thank
to your
you.
visit on Thursday. You
Thank
did
you,
tell them
Paramore.
that they were going, do you guys know that you are coming to the barn with us Thursday, correct? Just to let you know. They are super excited to have you.
all right, we're going to quickly move some things for probably the highlight of our evening and let Ms. Ledane's wonderful little singers come up and do their performance for us.
23rd of April. So we have some selections from our songs, and we'd like to perform those. And we'll start out with one called Pieces of Eight.
Eat, drink, and let's be merry. Eat, drink, and let's be merry. This is the time to celebrate. Now that we got our pay, we'll sing the night away. All for pieces of eight. Every day we work and slave to hoist another crate. What do we get for all our troubles? Pieces of eight. Eat, drink, and let's be merry. Eat, drink, and let's be merry. This is the time to celebrate. Now that we got our pay, we'll sing the night away. All for pieces of eight. Every day we work and slave to wash another plate. What do we get for all our troubles? Pieces of eight. Eat, drink, and let's be merry. Eat, drink, and let's be merry. This is the time to celebrate. Now that we got our pay, we'll sing the night away. All for pieces of eight. Every day we work and slave to do a job we hate. What do we get for all our troubles? Pieces of eight. Eat, drink, and let's be merry. Eat, drink, and let's be merry. This is the time to celebrate. Now that we got our pay, we'll sing the night away. All for pieces of eight. And once a month on payday, we pause to celebrate. We take our money home with us. Pieces of eight.
Our next selection is one called Captain Flint. And I'm sure most of you have read the book Treasure Island, and you're familiar with Captain Flint.
Captain Flint was an evil man with a black patch on his eye. He wore a long black mustache to match his black bow tie. He used a kind of language that wasn't fit to print. And many men were gentlemen compared to Captain Flint. Flint, 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 as bad as he could be. Flint, 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 the terror of the sea.
And our final selection for the evening is one called the Pigaloo Tribe. Now, if you want to find out more about the Pigaloos, come next week. And you might even find some with grass skirts and with some waves. The Pigaloo Tribe.
We are the Pigaloo, Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo, Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo tribe. And around all my friends, join with us tonight. Sing a loud battle song, get ready for the fight. We are the Pigaloo, Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo, Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo tribe. Enemies run away. You don't have a prayer. We are proud Pigaloos, so pirates now beware. We are the Pigaloo, Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo, Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo tribe. We are the Pigaloo tribe. Boo!
Thank you, and once again, what a privilege it has been to perform for you this evening, and I hope this is a moment that these guys will never forget. I know I will. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you, all you families, for sharing your children with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
And suddenly there was much greater thinned out. The quality of the meeting has just changed a little bit, but that was an amazing presentation. Wonderful kids we have. And now it's time for a public comment. So if you have comments, criticisms, or congratulations, please state your name for the record and where you live in Madison. And a reminder, it is not for a time for any personal attacks, but we look forward to hearing from you. And thank you for being here. And have a great night, wonderful children. You were amazing. Fern still says hi.
Good evening. I'm Cindy Taylor. I live in Wolftown. And continuing on the subject of awards and recognition, I wanted to mention a couple of things. First, speaking as a representative of the NAACP Culpeper branch and the Madison County African American Historical Association, I wanted to recognize two of your high school students, both in 11th grade, Lanaya Chu and Trinity Schultz. They tied for first place in the Black History Month essay contest that we sponsored. Both of these students interviewed their grandmothers and wrote about their grandmother's experiences attending black schools, segregated schools, in the 1950s and 60s. Excuse me. And they were really lovely essays, and we were really touched. In Lanaya's case, her grandmother also was one of the first students in Virginia to attend an integrated, almost all white high school. So it was an interesting journey for her. And we just really appreciated their essays, and we wanted to also thank their English teacher, Ricky Mitchell, for encouraging them. So it was really terrific. And another note is that Trinity will now be assisting the Madison County African American Historical Association by continuing her interview process with her grandmother and creating an oral history that we will be using in an upcoming exhibition. So that was good news. The other piece of good news, it was a lot of fun yesterday. Becky Gore, Madison native, 1966 graduate of the high school, 1972 graduate of UVA, was honored yesterday at UVA on the field at the UVA softball game for her longtime contributions as an advocate for women's sports. You may know she taught here from 1973 to 1991, came back to Madison after getting her degree, started the softball team here, the program, won multiple Coach of the Year awards, had a great record, took the team to the state tournament, was a teacher for 41 years, coach, umpire, and so UVA saw fit to recognize her yesterday. It was really wonderful. She was honored that Superintendent Graham was there with her husband, Coach Laundrie, a number of the varsity softball players, and many of her former athletes. So she was thrilled, and I just wanted to share that with you. Perfect timing. Thanks.
Squawking now. Hi, I'm Mike Sharman from the Novum area of Madison, and I just want to punctuate, let's say, something that Ms. Taylor was mentioning. She was talking about, Black history, African American history, but that's our history. When I was little, we had a KKK cross burned on our farm because we dared to rent a big house to blacks. And that was during the time that was in Orange County. Orange County shut down their school system, their public school system, rather than desegregate. That was within my lifetime. It's our history. But that's not what the handout's about, mostly. You notice this first bullet point, let's say, is from the Brookings Institute, which is basically a liberal think tank. But they point out that even the schools that have double the standard, the average amount of funding, have no appreciable difference in learning outcomes. And that's true also for the economically disadvantaged students, that even though their school may have double the funding, it didn't change the outcomes. So that causes y'all, staff and board, to think, okay, well, money matters, but it is more, if you look into dominant characteristics or predominant characteristics of outcomes and learning, you'll see it's how you spend the money, what you spend it on, or things that have no monetary significance whatsoever. When you have to have base level money, but doubling it, raising it by itself doesn't matter. And then you see the chart that accentuates the other point there. Nationally, student enrollments decreased by 1.9%, but staff has increased 11.8. In Virginia, it's more than that. Virginia was the highest difference. It had a decrease of 18.6, or increase of 18.6% in staffing, but only a 2% enrollment drop. 17% of that staffing increase was for teachers, which meant 83% wasn't. So you have the chart, which has that standard hockey stick shoot up there of the difference in the staffing, et cetera. At the bottom, I pulled out from the Virginia Department of Education stats, our enrollment difference. In that same 10-year period, we had a 15% decrease in enrollment. Virginia, during the same period, 2%, we had a 15%. Y'all can look at what your staffing increase or decrease was, how it was, but what I'd like you to get out of these is the encouragement for y'all to go out and do research. That Edunomics is at George Mason. They're very rich in information that you can draw from to look at how best to use whatever money you get and how to use your staffing. Thank you.
Hey guys, Britt Schenkel from the Haywood area of Madison. It's good to see so many of you guys again tonight. Forgive me, I'm reading tonight because I don't have the energy to talk things. And I'm glad I get to go after Mike for once tonight. So this message is directed specifically at those school board members who voted last month in a surprise motion to defund our schools of 4 high needs positions within our early elementary program in favor of creating what many have called a rainy day fund to fund special interest projects of the board. Throughout the school board campaign last fall, the main concern that was presented to candidates of the school board was funding for high quality instruction. It was noted that one of the main priorities of Madison County Schools needs to be increasing funding for instructional staff in order to help our students who are struggling most in the areas of math and reading. Madison County continues to fall behind other schools in these areas, and yet this board passed a budget that takes away funding for 4 support staff that directly address this issue. Recruiting and retaining high-quality teachers and staff was the main tenet of every candidate's campaign this past fall. It was an issue directly addressed at every public meeting and during private conversations among Madison voters. Many different ideas were presented to encourage the best teachers to remain in our schools. Not once was the idea of reducing support for our highest need populations suggested, because it doesn't make sense. Obviously, that would make no sense. Why would this proposal, thrown into the agenda last minute without any preparation, discussion, or time for public comment, come up? I call on this board to reopen this budget item if it's appropriate and available, and consider having discussion with Madison voters, as well as polling the staff of those affected schools to determine whether this was an appropriate action. And thank you for your time.
sorry. Can you hear me okay? I'm on my tippy toes. Let me try again. Okay. Hi, my name is Beth Dickey from Brightwood, Virginia. So I have two different speeches that I wanted to give. The other one I will send in an email. I've had the honor of being a teacher at Madison Primary School since 2002, and it is an honor and a privilege and something that I enjoy every day. Over the years, I have seen firsthand how much our students benefit when they are supported with the resources and staffing that they need to succeed. I want to acknowledge that Dr. Graham worked with her team and the Superintendent Advisory Committee to create a level budget that reflected the thoughtful priorities, including restoring some of the positions that have been lost in recent years. This was a collaborative effort that included teachers from all levels, and the work meant a great deal to all of us in the classroom. Because of that, many of us were surprised when the school board, not the Board of Supervisors, chose to cut that budget. I've been told to trust the board, that you guys will make positive decisions, and I will do my sincere best to trust you. But in return, I ask that you guys spend some time in our classrooms, talk with us, and see firsthand the needs of the students. These needs have greatly changed over the past 5 years. I think that if you speak with us and meet with us, you will see that what we have to say will tell a better story than the numbers that are presented to you. I think you need to hear the firsthand stories. I thank you for your time and for your service, and it's going to be a pleasure to work with you guys. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak to the board? All right, then we will move to board comments.
Just to say, because I know this is our chance to like kind of respond to everybody, I do know that we do have some budget things coming up on our agenda later, so I don't want to ultimately not acknowledge you guys mentioning those things. I just think that when that item comes up, I'll kind of give you my thoughts on that. As always, Mr. Sherman, thank you. I would be interested to see, like Ms. Dickey said, maybe the scores haven't changed or anything like that drastically based on like staffing needs, but it is interesting to see what it looks like as a learner now versus what it did just 5-10 years ago. It's so different. One of the things I always kind of thought was cool, and I know because you're a history person, like I know you'll appreciate this, was like looking at what like first and second grade students had to do 100 years ago, and like the penmanship and the writing and like all of the stuff that we've just kind of thrown away a little bit as of late. And so I find that kind of interesting. Like the demands are so different and what we're asking kids to do is so different. And I think that that's kind of why we're looking at this added support in our classrooms. But thank you guys for coming and talking to us today. And like I said, Ms. Schenkel and Ms. Dickey, I will address my thoughts on that budget as it comes up here in a little bit.
I was just going to say that I will speak for myself that I came to a meeting at the primary school with some of the teachers, and I really enjoyed that conversation. It was nice to hear directly from those teachers, and look forward to doing that again. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to, I guess before we get into the budget here in just a little bit, we are going to talk about the budget, and we are going to revisit at least one of those positions. And I too enjoyed visiting the primary school in Waverly and engaging with teachers. You know, it's very informative to engage with teachers. I was able to engage with one of the principals this morning, and that was very informative. You know, we're doing our best to be informed We want to continue to be informed. We are looking deeply into it. But before we speak about the budget here in just a little bit, I just want teachers to know that we do recognize how demanding the teaching profession has become. You know, the work that our teachers are doing, it requires an extraordinary amount of commitment and adaptability, emotional strength and energy. And we understand how educators are trying to balance a significant load, you know, between student needs and academic, parent communication, you know, and many other things that are outside of the classroom. We understand that. That's one of the reasons we've been so focused. One of the things we won't talk about too much today because it's already been approved is the 1% increase in teacher pay that this school board did approve. And I just want to remind folks that this was not original. This was not original to the first recommended budget. This school board came up with the 1%, and it costs about $150,000 to raise teacher pay by 1%. And some of the things that we're doing right now is laser focused on increasing teacher pay over the course of the next 3 to 4 years, and that's what. Our decisions are not in isolation of reality. They're calculated. We're trying to make decisions that make sense, you know, for our school system, and we're trying to address teacher pay. And that is where our focus is. If we continue to increase force structure without increasing teacher pay, then what we end up with is a bunch of teachers not being paid the appropriate amount. We're not taking care of our own. You know, there are a lot of things that we're looking at. We don't want teacher burnout. That's an important thing as well. So I look forward to the discussions we're going to have here in just a little bit. I guess more than anything, this comment at this moment is just to say that I do believe that the board here, to include other leaders in our community, do recognize the heavy load that our teachers are taking on. And we really hope to close the gap in the teacher pay that our teachers are getting here in Madison compared to some of our sister counties. And we've taken steps to do that. And we've taken action this year, immediate action, in fact, a majority new board here, immediate action to increase that by 1%, and we're looking to do that again by additional percentage points over the next 2 or 3 years. This secret fund, that people want to call it, slush fund, or whatever you want to call it, we had to change the name because it received a negative connotation. But the truth is it's all about student programs and student improvement. It's about school innovation. It's about strategic priorities. The $150,000 in the 3 positions that we're ultimately not going to approve that was on the budget, that was deliberate. And the whole idea is that amount of money would be a fiscal signaling for next year for us to be able to do another 1% increase. So there's science behind the decisions. There's human thought behind the decisions. And if we just take a moment to hear why, and maybe one of the things that, at least for myself, that I believe I've fallen short on as a new board member is just the communication piece. You know, being able to communicate it clearly. So I want to take the opportunity now to, and you know, going forward to try to communicate that to my best ability of what we're trying to do, why we're doing it, and how we're doing it.
Thank you all for your comments and your input. It is very refreshing to always hear teachers come in and speak. That is probably one of the biggest things that, since I've been on the board, we've not had a tremendous amount on. And trying to be people that share with you, it's huge to have your staff come in and talk to us. And to Ms. Taylor, if she's still in the back, I think, there's one thing you missed on Becky Gore that you did not add into that. And this is not a joke. As a former student and someone who went to school with her kids, she had a phenomenal singing voice as well. And it was one of those things that she did not like people to know it, but she actually did 2 national anthems here at our school, and it absolutely blew our entire group away. And as far as being a teacher coach, a tremendous role model in our school. She was greatly loved by all of her kids that had her. Absolutely. But
I just want to bring some attention to a couple things that I've been involved with over or that I attended over the last couple weeks, and that was the barn grand opening, which was amazing. I know I've chided them several times already, but our FFA program and our instructors are phenomenal, and they're really doing a remarkable job bringing FFA and agriculture back to where it should be here in Madison County. And that comes from a guy that doesn't know a whole ton about agriculture. I'm definitely into sheep farming now, as my wife knows, thanks to my daughter. But I just really think they're doing a fabulous job, and I encourage everybody to go down to the Young Farmers Grounds and take a look at the barn and what they've done, and the community members that I hope that doesn't get overlooked, but there was a lot of donors to that, and there was a lot of, I think, parents involved in helping getting that fixed up, and it's amazing. I also attended the Fine Arts Gala, and it was amazing. It was cool to see all the kids' artwork, and then I was able to slip in real quick and listen to our jazz band too, while people had dinner, and it was awesome. I'm trying to do my best to bring light to a lot of the events and just really nice things that our teachers and our kids are producing out there, because I think, unfortunately, a lot of it gets unnoticed sometimes, and I hope that people would take an interest in seeing that and seeing what we're investing in. So, just wanted to bring that. And there's other stuff too. And forgive me for missing some other stuff, but I really wanted to call out those two things because they were both phenomenal events.
All right, we'll move on to section 12 with business information. And first thing is our draft.
Section 11.
Did I miss section 11 again? I did. Staff reports. Look at that. I scrolled too fast. I was going to be on the point this time. Dr. Jones, I apologize.
No problem.
I'm always trying to skip yours.
That's all right. So I was told today that we are in the last 30-something days of the school year, maybe 32. And as most of us know, these days are filled with a lot of culminating events. You've got your graduation, your award ceremonies, your end-of-year concerts. I love this time of year because everything just kind of comes together. But the other thing that happens this time of year, as we're sharing with you tonight, is our Standards of Learning test schedule, which measures academic growth over the year, which is our ultimate goal, right? So our schedule, as you can see, I'm not going to read all the dates to you, but our fifth graders, you can see the dates. We'll be taking an integrated reading and writing, a reading test, a math test, and a science SOL. In fourth grade, students are administered a reading test as well as math and Virginia studies. And then our third graders are taking math and reading. And you can see those tests start at the end of this month. All right, and then at the middle school, our eighth graders take an integrated reading and writing. All grades take math, reading. Eighth graders also have a science SOL and a civics SOL. And so those are the big days coming up for our middle schoolers. And then at the high school, all of the sciences are tested on May 12th, math on May 13th, reading on May 14th, and history on May 11th. And I want to send a shout out to Kim Adams, who is our division director of testing, and to our school testing coordinators, Erica Moritz, Gail Temple, and Lindsay Dame, because a lot of work goes into setting up test sessions and just all of the small groups and the things that have to happen to make this go off without a hitch. And of course, obviously our teachers and staff who work so hard to get our kiddos ready for these tests. And so that's our testing schedule. I wanted to share with you the recruiting fairs that we attended this year. We're at Bridgewater College, UVA, Radford, JMU. There's a PERC, which is a kind of a consortium in Pennsylvania. And then we held our own job and volunteer fair right before spring break to do some recruiting and get our name out there. And we have had some interviews from these job fairs, and we are still in contact with some of the candidates that showed up. And so hopefully some of these will pay off in some hires as we go through our recruiting season and our hiring season. And then finally, on Thursday of this week, just a reminder that we are having a school board and board of supervisors visiting our schools. You're going to be participating in the day in a student's life. Do not be afraid, it'll be fun. And so you can see the schedule. We're starting at Waverly and then heading to Wetzel, and then the high school where you will be fed a delicious meal. And then we'll finish our day at Madison Primary School. So.
And I was just going to say, dress comfortably. That's what Principal Taylor was trying to tell you. You will be going to the FFA barn, meeting the animals, and I think you're riding the wagon to get down there. So definitely dress appropriately.
And that's everything from me for tonight. Thank you.
And now into number 12, business information. And excited to hear the draft AI policy.
Yeah, there's been some adjustments to it. We're going to be talking more about it coming up on the 16th in the evening to talk more. Still encouraging everybody to get back to me with any ideas that they might have. I know they're still working on it. We just had some more input from another teacher that we thought would be a good resource, so we appreciate that. But yeah, we're going to be talking more about it in our Technology Advisory Committee meeting on Thursday, whatever the 16th is, the day that we're doing our walkthrough too. Does anybody have any questions about that?
No, I thought it looked great so far. You guys have
Yeah.
done some great work with that.
Okay, this may be dumb, so I apologize. Like, do we need to define what we're considering AI in this policy? Like, and I say this knowing that, like, when I Google things now, the Google AI pops up, and I really enjoy that. And like, that's the only time I ever use anything like that. But like, I don't know if that's it. Like, do we need to define what we're considering AI?
I don't think that's a dumb question, or however you phrased it. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to get a little bit more specific with, I mean, of course, this is all going to be up for discussion, but yeah, I mean, those are things that are going to be defined. And I think that's important, just so there's no, yes, yeah, no question. But again, it's going to be like a kind of it's going to grow with us too. It's not going to be something that's going to be set in stone. So.
It looks very good. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely put a lot of work into it. So, and the additional information that we received from the teacher was excellent. So, thank her for that.
Thank you guys all for all the work that you're putting in on this. Like, it's super important, and
It's not me. I just
y'all.
want I just
All
want to make
y'all.
sure.
Y'all.
I just go to the meetings too.
All right. So moving on to the draft calendar.
We have Mr. Boer here to talk about that.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we all? My name is Jessica DeBoer. I'm a second grade teacher at the primary school, and I'm also the chair of the calendar committee. So we already have the 26-27 calendar approved and out on the website. So I'm here to present the 27-28 calendar. The calendar committee this year consisted of Aaron Mitchell from the primary, Erica Moretz from Waverly, Patrick Jennings from the Wetzel Middle School, Kaylee Ruth Pearson from the high school, and Jessica Henshaw represented the Madison County Education Association. So we created a calendar. We took it back to our schools and shared it with our staff, and we got positive feedback from them, and then we presented it to several families representing each school, and we got positive feedback from them. So now we have the calendar here to present to you. In the past, I've kind of went over it month by month. I don't know if y'all want me to do that.
No,
in great detail, please.
I was, only thing I was going to ask is, I think it looks great. Do you feel like you've got good breaks as far as spacing goes from Christmas to spring break? And teachers are happy with
Yeah,
that's
and it's
that's
pretty
always tough.
much the same, because you really can't do too
Yeah.
much with the calendar if you're going to start, if the goal is to get out before Memorial Day and to have SOLs done and before Christmas break. It's not
Right.
too much you can do with the calendar to get your hours in. We go by hours, so some of the highlights are, we have 178 days. First quarter has 44 days, second quarter 43 days, first semester is 87 days, third quarter 46 days, quarter four 45 days, and semester two is 91 days, with a total of 178 days. Usually we have more snow days in the second semester than we do in the first semester. School starts on August 10th. Students get 2 full weeks, actually 2 full weeks, and Monday and Tuesday of the following week for Christmas break. And then teachers get full 2 weeks, and that was one of the feedbacks that the teachers liked. And then teachers come back January 3rd and 4th for teacher work days, and the students return on January 5th. And the parents really like the 2 weeks, over
Yeah.
2 weeks for Christmas break. That allows some vacations out of town and stuff like that. So then we have spring break back in April. So it's pretty much the same. The only thing really different this year is that we do get out before Memorial Day, because Memorial Day in 2028 falls later in the month versus the way it did this year.
Looks great.
But if you like, I can go over it, or you can just.
I think it looks great personally.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
You guys did a great job.
Yeah, thank you. That's good.
I continue to appreciate that we're doing
Yes.
this 2 years in advance, like,
Yes.
or a year and a half. It's awesome. So thank you guys for all
Yeah,
of your
thank
work.
you for the work.
Good job, yeah. That's it, yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. Well, then I think usually it gets approved the following month, so,
Yes, ma'am?
yes. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you for your team's work. Appreciate it. Okay. Next piece of business information is student athletic admission. And board members are going to discuss allowing all Madison County Public School students to attend regular season games for free. Would anybody besides me like to start? Because I have my thoughts, but I will tend to.
Lauren, was it somebody that brought it your attention? Do you want to?
Yeah, I can just say, I had a parent bring to my attention that, I guess the current policy is only that high school students get to attend games for free. And her thought process to me was, everyone's a mountaineer from the time you're in preschool to the time you graduate high school. And so that should kind of go across the board. All mountaineers should be able to attend for free. So I brought it before the board, and
Okay.
I guess we'll have a discussion.
My thought on this, I like the idea of having our student bodies being able to come to games for free. I just do. The only thing that I have concerns with is knowing that they're part of our student bodies. That becomes my biggest concern. Having adequate amounts of like student IDs, things that identify them, make sure that we have not just teachers, but number one, parents who are taking ownership of their children and where they're at and what they're doing, I think is primary. As far as like getting them into the building, I think it's awesome. I don't know if anybody drove by any fields on the way here to the meeting tonight, or if you're currently at one while we were doing this meeting and you can watch it later. Our youth fields were packed. Our softball field was packed. Baseball's lights were on. There was a soccer game just down the road, correct?
No, soccer's
Was it tomorrow? Sorry, excuse me. Practice. We had stuff going on everywhere. We have kids and parents everywhere involved with everything, which is beautiful. And if you're a parent that's been involved in a drop-off or a pickup line in the past 2 years, you can tell that there's a lot of adamant, encouraging, and interactive parents with their kids that want to get to events of all sorts. Matter of fact, the Star Dance that's getting ready to shut down the entire town of Madison for the second year in a row, I've personally seen, it's amazing how many people get like locked into there. But we have a beautiful problem that's occurring in Madison, but making sure that we have adequate responsibilities of keeping our kids safe, knowing who they are, who they're there, and that we just don't have an open door policy, I think is more important necessarily than trying to like take a ticket for a kid.
I think, don't we already have policies under certain age, they're not allowed here without parental,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the only thing, I mean, my consideration too is, yeah, identification. I don't think, unless Matthew's lost it, like, I don't think the middle school gets ID cards or anything like that. And I don't think the younger kids get like student IDs or anything like that when they get their pictures taken. So that just might be something that we consider of how do we identify that, you know, like it's a Madison kid versus, oh, like I go to Madison, you know, kind of thing, like, you know, and then I don't know, just being fiscally minded, I think we probably make more money off the adults anyways, but is there, like, will this cut a significant amount of funding to our athletic department that we need to make up somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't think we have the data for that. We do know it's, you know, we're already kind of under. It's like $45,000 a year just to pay for referees for all of our sports. It's pretty expensive. I also like the idea. I like the idea of accountability. I mean, we need to know who's coming in, make sure it's not that policy's not getting exploited. I don't know how we're going to do that, so we're setting left and right limits on it. It's important, but it would be helpful if we could understand, you know, the impact, and if it's somewhat nominal, I think it's a good thing for us to approve. I think it would be good for the community, maybe even increase interest in athletics, and maybe even increase some attendance at some of our sporting events, which is all things that we all desire.
Yeah, if they're not paying admission, maybe they pay more at the concession stand.
I think, how does that work, though? Does that go to boosters?
That's what I was going to say.
Instead of athletic
currently
department?
our concessions is ran by boosters.
Yeah.
So, you know, this, we wouldn't be up for a decision on this tonight anyway, right?
No, this is
Yeah,
just talk.
so this is talk and discussion. I think we brought up some really good points. It'd be helpful if we can get some data and understand exactly what that budget looks like, and whether or not we're already under or not, and if we're finding ways to supplement it. And maybe get some rough estimates. We may not have hard data, but some rough estimates on what the financial impact would be with this decision.
I think, and I'll be totally honest with everybody here, I am anyway. I was today years old when I realized that not everybody gets in for free. So I've got a kid that went all the way through and didn't realize it, and I got one that's almost all the way through. So I think this is a good thing. I definitely think I agree with Graham and Sue that we need to find out and get some like tangible data just to make sure we're not shooting ourselves in the foot, because it is expensive to run athletics, but it's also very important. And I think, you know, letting the students in for free is good, because like Greg, you said, you know, it could spark some interest too, and I think that's important.
It does, and I think it builds a community piece.
Mhm.
I think being able to support different programs. Because I know when I was in high school, which is like forever ago, maybe Ms. Alexander remembers this too, we had a varsity club. And so if they were doing volleyball, we were running concessions to earn our varsity patches and stuff that went on our jackets to show, and then if we got done early, we would go hang out and go watch the games. It was kind of, we had a service mindset that went to that, not just an idea of just showing up to hang out. And sometimes having that service piece that went into it, I don't know, I think it kind of had us a little bit closer knit on that. Like, we had a different respect for the kids that we were like serving at that point in time. And the same thing with when basketball season hit. I mean, we had buses that went over to watch you guys play in the Final Four. I mean, buses of kids went, and it was packed. You were fighting to get a spot in those places. And so I think having a healthy, you know, student community that supports each other, regardless of event or activity, can only strengthen Madison County overall. It just has to.
Yeah, this is good. This may be an opportunity to look at other ways we can exploit this decision. There could be other things that we can look at. I know the athletic director current has, you know, proposed possible just consideration of maybe a, a very small fee of $20 or something like that for every student. to get in, through the academic year to all sporting events. And maybe there's a card that's issued with that, and, we could even look at the possibility of, if they are actually been disciplined or something like that, that there's, we could maybe exploit this opportunity and see if there's other ways we can benefit from encouraging students to get into our sporting events for free.
Yeah, I think it needs to be an all or none type thing, though. Like, if we're gonna let everybody in, then everybody, yes. If we're gonna have some sort of nominal fee, which we can discuss too. I'm not necessarily opposed to that. Like, it should be all students too. I think that would be a change for our current high school students.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know she's not officially board, and she usually just reports, but I would like to hear Tylee's opinion on this, since she is a student athlete.
I will say that, especially in middle school, you are kind of experiencing new sports, and I learned throughout my high school career and even middle school, I kept doing sports that I've been doing ever since I was little. But then even sports I was doing as I was little, I realized as I was going to sports events for other sports, I'm realizing, oh, I really want to try this, let me do this. So it's kind of promoting kids to try new things and try things they weren't even thinking of. And kids might not even think of sports, and physical activity is really good for kids too. So I think having especially middle schoolers just experience sports events and see what they're like, how they play, just different things like that. I think that's very, very important.
Okay.
So, I guess my big questions or takeaways would just be, again, how does it impact the bottom line? Are we making sure we're not cutting corners to be a, good host and things like that too? I have heard some issues about not having water cups available for away teams and things like that. We just want to make sure that we're taking care of our players, our, and facilities, and being a good host, and doing what we can to support our student athletes. But yeah, anything that gets people to support all of our kids in Madison is impactful. So,
You got
Any further discussion?
Yeah, no, Anna, does it seem like we could get something back, some type of an assessment back?
So we're just going to wait on this for a little while. No need to move forward to this year.
Do we, we're still going to look into this, but when we collect tickets, we're basically just counting the money and then dividing it and figuring out how many people attended? Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're clicking numbers or anything. Yeah. And this also, just keep in mind, and I know we do a good job, I think we do a good job of reminding parents that they're not just to drop their kids off too. I think that needs to be reiterated, because as much as I would love to have more students at these events, at all the events, at different events, we got to make sure that their parents are accountable for their children while they're on the property.
Agreed. Any other discussion? All right. Then let's move on. 13 with business approval. We are starting off with the VSBA policy updates. Always entertaining. And we got a few.
All right, motion to approve all the updated policies as presented. I know we reviewed them last week, or last month.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any further discussion?
We
Passed.
just
There's
voted.
yeah. All those in favor, aye.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to B. Boys and Girls Club Agreement.
So I added this to the agenda, and it doesn't necessarily have to be under approval. I think I might have had it and accidentally drug it down, but that's okay. We had already revised the agreement through the budget of saying they no longer had to pay a lease. So we were already letting them have the building for free. That was already in our budget. But I went ahead and changed the wording in the lease. And then the Boys and Girls Club, and this is going to end up probably coming before you because they want to make some improvements to the building. And because they want to make improvements to the building, they've requested a longer lease term, so they know they're going to be in that space for at least 5 years. So this lease reflects that. So it's like a 5-year lease, no rent payment, and then also added a clause for us to protect us because a 5-year lease is a long time. Just some information on extenuating circumstances, like like that pipe that burst outside the middle school and high school, had that been inside the high school? What if we needed to relocate kids for a while into another area? So just letting them know that we might need that space during the day at some time if something were to happen. So that's in there as well. But those are the 3 big changes. I don't know if Mr. Davidson wanted to add anything to that.
No, I think that's good. I like the changes you made, and I like the clause. I think that they're putting, probably upwards of 100,000, maybe closer to 150,000 into that building. They just want some type of security that they're going to be there for at least 5 years. So I think we're being really good partners with them, and I think it's good.
It's a win-win.
Is it something like the changes, and forgive me if you've already done this, do we have to like run that by our lawyer at all, just to make sure everything looks good? Okay. Okay. I was just curious and make sure we're, yep.
All right, recommended actions to approve. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Do we have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And it's approved. All right, and then supplemental appropriation. This is a good one here. Recommended actions to ask the Board of Supervisors to approve a supplemental appropriation to the school CIP fund for $184,482.
Motion to approve?
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right, budget update. We have a revision. Go ahead.
Can we just go for it? Yeah, okay, and this is, this revision, as you guys know, in the original budget that the superintendent proposed, there were 8 positions that were being recommended. We came back and approved 4 of them, but we also added another line to increase teacher compensation by 1% above and beyond what the state had. And when, in addition to that budget, we had a new fund, which I talked about just briefly earlier, that basically the money that was going to go to those 4 positions was about $185,000. And we moved that into what we're trying to create, and we got a legal review on, which was very favorable to us, to get for a school improvement and innovation fund. Really, the $185,000 in the fund itself are 2 separate things. The fund is for, at the end of the year, unspent money to be rolled back into that money so we could have some flexibility to leverage that either for, pay incentives, one-time cost. It could be a variety of things, and I have that. I mean, we've all seen the list at this point. The 4 positions, 2 of them were aide positions in the primary school. Lauren and I, we visited the primary school. We engaged with teachers, and we looked, and I'll say this is largely due to, IEPs, and we have teachers who have, nearly 35, 40% IEPs in their classrooms. And it's a pretty significant number, and it's a heavy load. We also have, as you guys know, and I'm speaking about this because I want to inform not the board, but everyone that's listening, like what goes into these decisions and how we're looking into them. There are, for example, in our first grade class, we have 5 different classrooms. We have 5 teachers, 5 different classrooms, and we spread out our IEPs amongst the classrooms. You may have the standard kind of with the state, what they recommend is about no more than 15 to 20% in the classroom should be IEP students. So you want to kind of manage your classrooms to be around 15, 20%. Also, our student-teacher ratios are, the threshold is 1 to 24. That's what the state recommends, and we all know that's high. We all know that's a lot on a teacher. But those are the thresholds that if you have less than 24 students in a classroom, you're not mandated by the state to have an aide. If you have more than 24, you're required to have an aide in the classroom. But you can't have any more than 28 students in a classroom for every 1 teacher. but if you have more than 24, you would have an aide. We all know that those are really not very good policies at the state level, and it's difficult to manage a 24-person classroom, especially if you have 30% IEPs with one teacher. You need aides. You need SPED teachers. You need a lot. I mean, our teachers are certainly going above and beyond. So anyway, we do have a bit of an imbalance. There are classes that have 5%, 10%, 5%, and then you go up and there's one teacher that may have 35%. So there's some things that we can do internally to solve that. There are some programs at the state level that we can leverage, a ton of resources, personnel that we could leverage to help us out with certain areas, and we do a good job with that. I couldn't be more confident in especially our leaders and teachers' ability to solve these problems. I've engaged with all of them in the school, and especially the primary school. But I do feel like that we could benefit from one additional aide, and I think we can afford it. As you guys know, it was $185,000 that went into this fund on the 4 positions. So we cut that back by one aide position. We end up at $150,000, which still meets our goal to set aside and project a fiscal projection to show that we can absorb that $150,000 so we can position ourselves next year to do another 1% increase on pay above and beyond what the state is going to potentially give us next year. The idea is over a 4-year period, we increase our teacher pay by 4 or 5% above and beyond what the state is giving so we can be more competitive with our sister counties. And that was kind of how we back off to the 150. So we can absorb this. I think the aide position is going to be used. I think it's needed, especially in the structure that we have right now. And there's good reason why there's a disproportionate amount in certain classes. There's actually reason for it. And that's the reason we engage with teachers. As somebody made a comment today, we need to talk to teachers. We need to go in and speak to the leaderships in school to get context, to understand, and to get an appreciation. But there's some give and take here, for sure. But I do believe that we're in position to add an aide position at the school, and that's specifically what this here is before on the FY27 budget update is to, instead of only approving 4 positions, it was to approve 5, 1 additional position. This has kind of already been communicated to the Board of Supervisors, who's already, obviously talking about it, and you can hear it in their meetings. So it's, I think going to be supported, which is also a really good thing. So if you have any questions or if you guys want to have discussion about it, I'm happy to talk, at least from what my understanding, but I'm happy to hear others as well.
I mean, first of all, I'm never going to be upset about adding another aide at the elementary school. I think the big question is, I mean, I go ahead and propose that we move all of that funds and get all of our aides back at all of those schools, because just because you were able to identify a need in one area, like our teachers, our family members, our superintendent advisory committee, all of these people came together and said this is a direct need that we need. I've gotten numerous, and I think you guys have all been copied on these emails from these teachers begging us to reevaluate this. And I mean, I just did some quick math and compared. I mean, I know Anna has given us this information in the past and compared our starting salary with a bachelor's degree salary with that of Greene County, just because it's close. I picked it because it's close. I know they're a little bit bigger than we are. We're starting $2,500 below them. If we're not going to give, I mean, like we've already discussed, yes, our rollover money goes into the CIP. From my understanding, and I apologize I wasn't there for our Board of Supervisors representatives that are here, from my understanding, listening to some of those meetings, the Board of Supervisors is not allowing us to roll this fund over into itself. It would just roll over into CIP like everything else does. So I'm just going to say I think that we should go ahead and discuss proposing putting all of those positions back, and for this school year, the 26-27 school year, giving our teachers what they want and need. And if we don't do that, let's go ahead and spend this $150,000 and give them all a bump, another percentage of a raise.
We can't though, because the Board of Supervisors took $75,000 of it already.
That's right. They did cut our budget a little bit, which isn't reflected in this.
Yes.
So, I mean, let's give the teachers and these students what they need to succeed. I guess that's the question that I have at the end of the day is, yes, is it scary because maybe, just maybe, we won't have to be able to offer this position to somebody next year. And that is a risk. And honestly, I think it's a risk I've taken as a teacher. You're not guaranteed a job from year to year. I mean, I was a school counselor and they were doing all this stuff with ratios and things like that for school counselors. You get your contract at the beginning of the year. It's not a guarantee necessarily that you'll come back. And I think that our people come here. Our teachers do phenomenal things. I love going into our schools. I love, Miss Dickey, I admit, has invited me into her classroom. We do spelling of sight words, and I love feeling like a superhero when I walk into that building because it's like, Miss Wood, you're here, and it's fabulous. But these kids, and I watch this, these kids with high needs, we have kids with that need extra support. We have kids that are phenomenally brilliant, whose parents are pulling them and putting them into other schools, and better to meet their needs, but why can't we better meet their needs? Why can't we table this for 1 year? That's all I'm asking. 1 year to have this fund in place so that it can be something that we can work towards, so that we can take that money and give it back to our teachers, give it back to our students. We have all of these teachers with years and years of experience. I think Ms. Ledane is a great example of that. We're never going to find somebody that does what she does when she retires. She's not allowed to go either, just for the record, if she's out there listening. She is a Madison institution. We're never going to find somebody to do what she does when our neighbors down the road pay more money and have more support. Was it scary to offer these 8 positions? Yes, it was a level budget. But what are we doing here if we can't? I mean, you said that, I know you guys met with the primary school as well, and I'm surprised they didn't change your mind as well about their needs there.
This actually is specifically about the primary school.
Okay,
Yeah,
I thought it was
so,
the elementary school.
The only purpose of this discussion is the $35,000 to move from the innovation fund to fund an 8 position at the primary school. The positions that that the school board did not approve. The whole idea was to signal and prepare and plan ahead so we can continue to increase teacher pay and
Then why not do it
compensation.
now? I guess that's my question. Why are we waiting until signaling and doing these things later? We're talking about later.
We're
And
trying
again,
to take
I
it
am
responsible. We're already, so I mean,
I
think
am
about it.
very fiscally conservative human being. I am all for saving money. I feel like we've been pulling money out of the couch cushions for years now, and this was the 1 year we didn't have to. And yes, I'm okay with saving for our future, but we're talking about any money that we don't spend because the positions don't get filled, most of the time by the generosity of the Board of Supervisors rolls over into our CIP fund, which is exactly what would happen to this money anyways. It would roll over into CIP because we don't have that agreement. I believe that somebody on the Board of Supervisors, I can't remember who, specifically said they will never have that agreement with us.
Yeah, you have to
And-
listen specifically what they're talking about, because what he said is, one, when you lock in positions, it's a perpetual thing. It goes on from year after year after year.
We've proven that that's not true.
But we've also had to cut positions for the past 4 years at a pretty high rate. But I just want to address one thing. One, this particular discussion is about the $35,000 for the 8 position at the primary school. 2, the Board of Supervisors was very correct in when they said they cannot, and it's not even legal for them to put in some type of legal document or a binding document to bind future Board of Supervisors members to an agreement. This is a handshake.
Help me understand how that's not policy, though.
Well, policy can be something that comes out of your mouth. You know, the president is changing policy every day. Policy codified is law. And that's a little bit different. So policy has a lot of different levels to it. So
You're
you got
talking-
policy that we write down on paper for our students. We got policy at various echelons. We got policy that's codified in law. We got policy that, the superintendent probably has policies that change from time to time based on the conditions and the changing environment. So policy is a fluid thing. What's
So why
not
can't,
fluid is,
why can't the
legal.
Board of Supervisors do that then,
We
down the
just-
road?
We just changed over 20 policies in 13 and a half seconds through an approval and a second and a vote 5 minutes ago. And yes, I understand the purpose of this discussion is for this $35,000, 100%. Let's take that money, let's move it over, 100% agree. I just say, instead of holding our hands at 35, I think we just go ahead and do it all, and we approve all of these positions, because I think what I have heard is an outpouring of, like, Ms. Dickey, she said that she is trying to trust us. But when the first thing that we do as a new board is come here and say, you told us what you wanted, you told us what we needed, like, never mind. We're not going to do that. We're not going to support your classroom. We're not going to support your students. We're not going to support this. And yes, I understand. One is, I will take one, because I don't think I'm changing anybody's minds here to move all of that money and to open up these other positions. But I cannot, you can't sit idly by. And then the question is going to be, is the position of this board, what are the goals of this board? We sit down and we talk about it and we think about it. And if you ever go to a conference, like Greg, you've been to teaching conferences, what is the first thing they ask you is, what is your why? Write down, what is your why? Why are you here? I'm not saying that we've always agreed, and I don't think we should always agree, but if the answer is not for the best of our students and the best of our community, Madison is a pretty kick-butt place. I love being here. I've been here my whole life. I loved growing up here and doing these things, but our kids don't want to stay. Like, we need some type of incentive for new families to come in. And I know that that's scary I mean, we are a good old boy system, I get it. But the thing about it is, Kermit Kelly, our senior of the month, he moved here in 2019, 2020. He was in 7th grade. He was one of my 7th grade students. Like, and he is Madison County at this point in time. But you have to question, like, what is it going to be? How are we going to invite new families in when some of these teachers do retire, or some of these teachers do realize that they can make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 more by going up the street, and we can't even offer them a little bit of support when they're asking us to. We can't protect them and protect our students and give them what they've asked for. And again, I'm all for considering things. I'm all for planning for the future. Our children are our future. So I ask, and I will stop talking because I know that you want to get to the point, and it's to approve this budget change, and I will make a motion to approve the budget change after I'm done with this, if that helps. But I strongly recommend that you guys consider why you are here and what your purpose is. And yes, do we need to not have to shake from the couch cushions every year to fix things, to improve things, but when we have ways that we could use this right now, I strongly propose that we go ahead and bring all of that money back into whatever movements, lines, changes that we need to do so that we can support our students and that we can support our staff. Because if we can't be, I think you called us giraffes, like overseeing us last time, you kind of made that mention. We can't be so far in the leaves that we are missing the ants. And I'm done.
Yeah, I appreciate your passion for it. I'll say something very quick, that our focus is compensation. We can't build force structure out to everything that we possibly want and increase compensation. It just doesn't work that way. We are laser focused on retaining great teachers, and we're going to do that by way of increasing their pay. And that's kind of where that's what we're focused on. That's the main thing, is teacher pay.
Great.
So you can't add a bunch of positions and add a bunch of pay with limited
we
resources.
did that. We were able to kind of come up with the budget where we added a little bit more money to everybody, and we were adding the positions, and it was a level funded budget. And it was great because the money was, any change in money, it was coming from the state. It wasn't coming from our county, which is fabulous because I hate paying taxes. But we were able to do both. And then the choice of this board was to not listen to the recommendations of our teachers and to not listen to the recommendations of the superintendent's advisory committee. And then the comments that have come since that time the choice has been to ignore all of that and say, oh no, we're going to concentrate on wages, but we're not concentrating on wages. And I tried to Google to see where everybody else is on their salary scales and things like that. But I'm fairly confident that most of the counties around us that you're saying that we're catching up to are all giving them a 5% raise for next year. And so we're actually falling behind more. We are not catching up. We are falling behind more. We are not comparable. And Charlie Sheeds here one day, he said something, I'm going to misquote him, but he's like, I hope that Madison gives everybody a little something extra. Being in Madison is special. But when you're doing arguably one of the most difficult jobs that you can do, when you're doing these difficult jobs and our position, our gift, we were, this is a gift being elected onto this board. It is a privilege to serve, and it is a privilege to serve these students and these teachers and this community in such a way. And I feel like it's very short-sighted to just be like, oh, well, we're going to concentrate on this, but not really concentrate on this because we're going to tell you that we're doing this, but then the Board of Supervisors, we're going to cover their, the rest of the county's health insurance raises, so they're going to take some money out of our budget and the funding that was coming to us. And then, but we're going to eat this because ultimately, we're doing everything that we can to not make our teachers have to pay for that. We're eating these things and doing everything that we can, and you're sitting here telling me that you want to concentrate on compensation. Well, then why didn't we recommend that we used that $150,000 to give everybody another % raise? Because I'm pretty sure that would have covered most of it. I can't remember your exact math from earlier this morning, or this evening.
We're trying to do it in a responsible way. Do you know the positions that we didn't approve? We looked into them. We're not just saying things and going by the whim in here.
You say we. Who is we?
Or the majority that approved
okay, so you guys all met and talked with each other before bringing it to this meeting last month.
Well, we're just, I think, listening specifically. Even I talked about it earlier in this meeting about how we are currently. Even in those aid positions that you're fighting for right now.
Yeah.
We are about 80% of our classes are hovering at around 5 and 10% IEPs. The recommendation is somewhere around 15 to 20% IEPs per class. We have a very disproportionate amount of IEPs in two of our classrooms. And there's reason for that, and I was able to get that information this morning, but we have...
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I can. So, for example, there's and thanks for the question, Mitch. They have, there's an organization called TTAC at the state level. It's a technical and teacher training program, and they provide coaching. They help out with scheduling. They help out with professional education. They help out with professional development, specifically for students that have for schools that have students with disabilities. And it's a pretty large state-funded program. And I work at JMU, and we have a region there at JMU. We have an entire sea of people on our top floor that run that TTAC program. The TTAC program for Madison County, Virginia, is actually at George Mason University. And those, they're the ones that kind of set these bars, 15 to 20% IEPs per classroom. So if you've got a 20 students in your classroom, you wouldn't get beyond the threshold of about 4. That's the idea. And we have classes that are mainly somewhere between 20 and 22 students per class. And I know all these numbers because I sit there and I study them and I look at them and I engage with our teachers and our principals and our superintendent. I talk to them. So we, as me, and whoever else is doing it with me, and those who will listen to me. And then when I say we, I'm talking about the majority of people that voted for the budget that we currently have. So we're not just saying things based on feelings, we're saying things based on digging into it, being informed, getting hyper-informed about it, understanding it. And the reason we're not approving those 4 positions, well now 3, if we move to approve this one, is because we're trying to set the conditions to improve teacher pay. And I know you are just Googling what the other counties were going, but then you came back and said that they're probably getting 5%, but I don't work off probablys. I want to know. I want to know specifically what's going on. I want to know why our teachers are leaving. I want to understand who is getting teacher burnout and for what reasons. And I want to talk to the experts and the resources that we have around us to help inform our decisions, which is exactly what we're doing.
I think the reason why we have burnout and the such is because we've been not providing the resources that we should have been doing the last several years because of budget cutbacks. And I keep hearing over and over again about how we've gone to experts. Well, here's the deal. I trust our superintendent and assistant superintendent to come with the information that they did in a level budget, and then we said, no, they're the expert. I'm not the expert. I see expert stuff here. I hear stuff about experts that are around the state. They don't know what's going on in our classrooms. Okay, we are not Fairfax, we are not Loudon, we are not Manassas, we're Madison. Do those experts come to Madison County and sit in these classrooms?
If we invite them as free services, then they do, and that's what they're designed to do, and all we have
When's
to do
the
is
last time we
invite
invited them?
Well, it's been more than 3 years. So that is a problem.
Is that fact?
I called and asked.
You did?
All right, for the purpose of the board, let me just remind us, this is not for like an open discussion piece as far as what the budget was. We are here to vote on a piece, to move a piece of the budget forward. This can be discussed either at a retreat or when we have a different board comment.
It should have been discussed prior to last meeting, but two of the board members up here were not included in the discussion. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, and I personally, I will not, just so everybody, I'm getting messages from people at home, so everybody is clear, I will not discuss anything at a retreat or closed session is for closed session purposes, but I will not discuss anything privately and behind closed doors that I will not discuss out, that I'm legally allowed to, like, not saying that I'm going to discuss those things. When we are here to, yes, we're here to approve this one piece of the budget, like, I just proposed that we change what we're approving. Like, you guys kind of did that to us the last meeting and just said, oh, we're going to do that.
For a motion.
Okay, well, I mean, we got blindsided by the budget at our last meeting. And so, like I said, I just wanted to go ahead and open that up for discussion to see if we could, maybe perhaps hear from everybody else as far as maybe we can, I've been here many times where we've shifted the way that we've approved things and written things in our agendas and changed things here openly in front of everybody in the public. And since, I think it was Ms. Schenkel that said that, I think it was her, I'm sorry if it wasn't, that said that, we did approve a budget that was foreign to all of us at the last one without really having any discussion or any feedback from the community or all the people, and we had 3 comments about the budget today. Like, I feel like it's honoring the people that chose to speak, to sit there and say, I think moving this, again, doing this one approval sounds great. I just propose that we go ahead and move all of it back and get those positions back. That's my thought process.
Chairman, can I say something?
Okay.
Thank So the General Assembly is coming back next week, and I think they return on the 22nd, and they're supposed to work on the budget on the 23rd. So we're going to have more concrete information, hopefully, soon. And so we know it to be a fact, unless Ms. Crop is a genius and has guessed this budget to the T, which I hope you have. But there's a really good chance we're either going to come back and we're going to need to cut something, or we're going to come back and we're going to have more funding. So you guys are not finished with this budget. And it's okay if even nothing happens tonight, because you're not finished with this budget. You are going to have this budget in your hands again. And you currently have an approved budget. So if that's what you need, like, it will be okay, because you will be looking at this budget again, because you're either going to be taking away or adding, and we hope it's adding.
And I mean, like, I feel like at this point, everybody kind of knows where I stand on it. I'm more than happy to discuss with anybody else. Ms. Gordon, I don't know if you have any comments. Mr. Martz, haven't really heard from your guys' thoughts on anything, like.
I think tonight's proposed change is in direct response to the commentary that we have heard since passing the budget. So I don't think it's correct for anybody to say that we have ignored comments or pleas from teachers, when I personally have met with teachers to hear their comments. So I don't think that that's right for that to be said. I don't think it's right to question anybody's intent being on this board. We are all here to serve the students of this county, the teachers of this county, the best way that we see fit. And we may not all agree on that at all times, but we are all here for the right reason, and I don't think that it's right that that's questioned either. So I just will say that. I think we should move to a vote.
Well, and I will say, like, wasn't trying to, I mean, I know that you guys met with teachers, I've met with teachers. Like, it just seems that we listened to some teachers say that we needed things and not others. That's kind of where I was coming from on that perspective.
I didn't hear from any teacher that thought cutting what's now 3 positions. I didn't hear from single teacher in this county that said that they were in favor of that. Did any of you?
No.
Okay.
Did they ask for the other 3 positions?
They did.
Okay.
And the fact that we are reconsidering and adding this one right now, I think is, we're working with them.
Yeah. And to be fair, didn't mean to, like,
Can we
challenge.
just move to a vote?
Yeah, I just didn't mean to challenge, like, why you're here. It's just a reminder of why we are here. Like.
I'd like to make a motion to move to the previous question.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on to section E. This is to approve a $1,500 bonus for all full-time employees and a $750 bonus for part-time employees to be paid on June 10th, 2026.
And we do have a presentation that goes along with this, because this is new information, but it was quick to come from the state, and we do have to certify whether or not we're going to do the bonus by May 1st. So we have to make the decision before the next board meeting. So we wanted to make sure you guys had all the information, because this is definitely a positive and something that you guys are all passionate about. So we want you to know well, you just read it, $1,500 for full-time employees, $750 for part-time employees, and this would be given to employees in a separate paycheck, because they really like it that way, on June 10th, 2026. So it would come as a great start to summer break. The total cost for the bonus is $396,421.13. We do have a state share, so the state will fund the SOQ positions at $142,233, but that leaves us needing $254,188.13. And Ms. Crop is going to go through her process with how she begins preliminarily to look at what carryover funding would look like, or what year-end money would look like, however you want to say it. She's going to go through that with you and let you know the bottom line on how we could fund this.
Next slide, please. So I do an analysis, and Dr. Graham and I work together to look at the numbers. We update and project monthly the state revenue. We have the ADM adjustment. The final state funding, we do not receive until usually June, and we don't even know what that is until the end of March. That's when it's reported. Then we get our number back in April or May. So then the money is adjusted in June. Right now, our ADM is down 22 students, which is approximately 77,000. So we're going to lose that. When I do an end-of-year estimate, we have state revenue that comes in April, May, June. So I'm estimating that. So, and that's between 800,000 and $1 million a month. So then we have April through August sales tax because we're on an accrual basis accounting. So all of our money doesn't even come in until August. So to get a true end of year where we stand, it's not until August. But the point of this is there's a lot of estimates out there for revenue. We also, on the next slide, I think we do, these are expenditure projections. So I'm estimating 4 payrolls, April, May, June, and July. In May, we pay stipends. So that's, and I can estimate them, I know the numbers, but when you put it all together, we're doing after-school work, we're doing summer school that gets carried back to this year, and we're talking, our payrolls are about $1.5 million a month. So a small percentage variation is a big number. Then I'm also estimating operating expenses, our claims. We are paying, we throw back our bills back through our bills in June. We pay in July and August. If we have any bills that haven't come in, our, like for example, our water and electrical bill, we don't pay that usually till July for the month because you pay it, you accrue it in the month that it happens. So the point of all this is there's a whole lot of estimates out there. So when I throw out end of year numbers, I don't like to do that because they are so projected. It's so many projections. We have a budget here and we make a budget every year, but we don't even know if we're going to get that money. So we're hedging on a budget. I don't know if I'm going to have enough revenue to make that. I also have to keep expenses low enough that we're not going to overspend our revenue. So with all that being said, we think we can have the bonus, and then I think on the other, I don't know how much is included in this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this is the final bonus calculations and a stab at what our carryover might be at the end of the year.
Okay.
So
Tina.
any questions on that?
No, Tina, great job putting this presentation together. These are really good, very helpful. I know, just knowing you in a very short period of time, I know these are fairly conservative numbers, I would imagine, and how you've put them together. Folks, this last line item, this is carryover money after the support for this the bonus. So that's 300, 400 and was it 340, 385, $420,000 after we pay for the bonus. Is that correct, roughly?
Roughly, right.
Yeah, so this is how this works. We have 100, and, like she said, it's $1,500 per SOQ position is what's given to us by the state. That's in the tune of around $145,000. in order for us to, our choice is, do we take that money, just give it to the SOQ employees? Because there's a limitation to it. Last year, we got that money and they allowed us to spread it out. So our teachers ended up getting $800 or $900 a piece or something along those lines. So because we were spread out across our 250-person staff. This year, the requirement is it has to be a minimum of $1,500. So it's going to cost us $250,000. And when I say us, I'm talking about taxpayers. But this is money that's already been budgeted to our school system for this fiscal year, which is good. That's money that we've already been budgeted. We're not asking the Board of Supervisors for additional monies. In fact, I've talked to each of the members of the Board of Supervisors, and they support this particular $250,000 going to our teachers. So every full-time member, every full-time staff faculty member in our school system can get a $1,500 raise or bonus this year, which is a very nice bonus, if we decide to approve it. Now, granted, technically we don't have to have the Board of Supervisors' approval on this, but it is very good to know that we're being good neighbors and we're sharing this information with them, and they are also, signaling their support. Because the opportunity cost of this $250,000 is that it could go towards CIP. For example, in next year, this new innovation fund that we've done, the idea is that all the money that we would have, all this carryover, it would come back and go into this fund, and we would be able to use it not just for CIP, other student programs, other incentive programs, and other things. So this is, it's already working in some ways. The relationship that we're building, across the county here. So my recommendation is that we move forward with it, and if we have the money, it's already budgeted. We have full support from all the leadership in the county on this. This is just one more way of showing our teachers how much we appreciate them, giving all 250 plus. Nearly 250, I guess it's 249, and then some part-time employees, we get a partial on this. The $1,500 bonus, and that it's got to be, I think it's the payout on the 1st of July, is that correct? June 10th, okay, so on June 10th. So for me, I support it. That's what I know about it, and that's what I understand at this point, and I'm happy to try to answer any questions or to collaborate about whatever you guys want to discuss.
Was that your motion to approve?
No, I haven't made that.
I thought
Just
you
in case
did.
y'all want to do some
Okay.
discussion, but I would love to make the motion.
Go ahead.
Or you can make the motion.
I make a motion to approve a $1,500 bonus for all full-time employees and a $750 bonus for part-time employees to be paid on June 10th, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you for that extra work, Ms. Kropp.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to the Madison County Special Education Plan Part B. The recommended action is to approve the MCPS Special Education Plan Part B for 2026 and 27 as presented.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Why you keep tapping me? I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We move on to section 14 for school board reports and our student representative and superintendent.
I can go ahead and go. I know I've had a couple meetings, I gotta be honest, they were mostly with Jeanette, and they were mostly before spring break, and I've kind of forgotten a lot about all of them, except something about the measles, and preparing for a measles outbreak, so I am so sorry for that. We have a prep meeting on, I know we've had a prep meeting since our last meeting, and we're just in budget season there too, and taking care of that. We have another meeting on Wednesday, right? Like, okay, just making sure I've got everything where it's supposed to be. There's like a lot of cool stuff going on. I always, try to plug the things Unfortunately, I just know more of what my kid's doing, so I apologize for that. But yeah, all the sports ball is going on, so if anybody needs something to do on any evening this week, we've got all the sports at all the places. Go show some Mountaineer pride. As I think was mentioned, we've got some end-of-year concerts going on at the last week of April, I know, is the middle school's final concert, and they get to go to Busch Gardens on May 2nd, which is going to be super fun. It's always fun to watch them play. And I mean, I'm not going to steal Anna's thunder about the whole senior banquet, because I know you like to do that too. But just a lot of cool things going on at this time of year. Graduation, May 16th, right? Like, it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be in the gym. Put it on your calendars now. All right, that's all.
I would just like to report that I had the pleasure of being a judge for the 4-H presentations for fourth grade. Sue was there with me that day. That was fantastic. Those kids did a really, really good job, and it was really neat to see and be a part of. So I hope I get invited back next year to do that. I attended the senior capstone projects through Governor's School. That was really impressive and nice to see a broad range of topics. And then I attended the Mini Mountaineer Theater for The Lion King and was blown away. I think I have told Erin Mitchell several times since then how totally impressed I was for that. So I know Miss Dickey is big on that. Thank you again for your time. I just think that that's just a wonderful program. So kudos to all of you for that. Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder too, because the fourth grade judging, the kids did an excellent job. I was very impressed. I was there as well, and the capstone for Governor's School, they were very well done too. Very impressed with their work, and I apologize for missing that earlier when I probably gave that information, which should have been now.
I did it before too.
All right, I am gonna get it wrong again in the future, but yeah, we're just doing so many amazing things in this county, and I wish that more people would see. I mean, thank you for everybody that's here tonight, that's still here. Thank you for coming. I just wish there was more, because we're doing a lot of cool stuff here and doing well at it, and I just wish more people knew that.
Okay, I have two, I sit on the CIP. I guess I'm not going to go into a lot of the details. The only thing I'll say is there's two school board members and two board of supervisor members that sit on the CIP. Superintendent and her administrators, include Stacey Simmons, they do an excellent job of just staying in tune with what our physical needs are here in our school system. And the meetings that I have sat on thus far, almost everything that we have proposed or that the school system has proposed has been approved by the members, the voting members, which are the two board members from the school board and the two board of supervisor members. And it's really encouraging to see us working together to solve some pretty big CIP problems. And I can tell that there's a lot of good work going on that. But largely, most everything that we've proposed has been approved up to this point, include tractor that you're advocating for, which was great. Secondly, we have the Athletic Advisory Committee. That advisory committee is continuing to work on some pretty big stuff for our sports programs in general for Madison. Right now, we're working on our vision and mission and espouse values for athletics in Madison County. And we're doing that working with members across the community to include even homeschool teachers, the Parks and Rec. We have administrators and leaders and others, head coaches from all the school buildings. So that's been very encouraging. We've taken initially, just to kind of give you guys an idea, and I know it's late, but we've taken our current vision and mission and spouse values. We've taken 4 of the top athletic programs that are like nationally recognized athletic programs in the country, and we've kind of triangulated what we liked best of those. And now we're working through the committee to get to build consensus. So the process is actually pretty sharp, and we got some good people involved. So I think we're going to come out of it really very good. The results is a recommended policy to this board. That policy is going to come with a proposed vision, mission, specific values, and some directives on how we're going to evaluate programs, coaches, and other things. And how we're going to get annual reports and what specifically we'd be looking for. But we figured the first work was to just do some emission analysis on exactly who we are and who we want to be, and that's where we're at. And I hope to maybe sometime by July have a more a policy that you guys could review and sit on for about a month.
All right. This was March was probably the busiest month I've had in forever. It felt like there was never a time there was not a phone call, email, meeting. It was packed. And the biggest thing that was a surprise was, again, I had a meeting with Jeanette and our committee for health, and to hear the word measles pop up absolutely floored me. And I had to look at it and said, "Are you sure?" And just because I thought that was not really that much of a big deal anymore, and evidently the outbreak's on the way. And it was great to hear that we have so many IEDs set up through the buildings. And there was only one concern where we had it with our one building where it's 2 levels, so that we may need to be looking at a second one to kind of get it in there, which I think that could be a tremendous thing to actually look at, because somebody having a heart attack away from a section is like terrifying in any scenario with that. I did miss my Hall of Fame committee meeting due to the flu. Luckily, it was not the measles. I got my first case of the flu in my entire life on that Monday, so luckily Ms. Gordon was there to remedy that since I could not be there, which I did get the list, which looks very exciting. Some very familiar names on there. And I'm reporting kind of for Miss Wilson. She caught me at the softball game, and just a reminder for those that remember, Miss Daniel was given permission to go on a trip with her group over spring break, which we gave permission for. We were like, well, they got to come back and report. Well, I get to do the report. We got to get, I know, right? How exciting. Our wonderful kids got a silver and a bronze and performed exceptionally well. They should be coming back in to talk to us about it overall, and that they did qualify for the next level. And and as she said, they're waiting to see whether or not we need to look at approving another trip coming up for them, which I said that would probably not be an issue. We'd all be very in favor of that. So that was very exciting. And then I did get the chance to see our wonderful FFA compete where I actually work. That was really cool. We had a day off of school, and I got to watch the Madison County crew come in and perform exceptionally well in our regional FFA with, you had Flavanna there, you had Rappahannock, and sure enough, the Mountaineers rolled up in there, and they were like, "Who's this guy saying go Mountaineers in Culpeper High School?" It didn't make much sense, but they performed very well. Mr. Berry also did an excellent job of representing our faculty and our teachers here. So, and I think there was at least one other thing I was supposed to report on that I got, and it's now slipping my mind, and I apologize. I left my notebook with that at my desk, so I apologize. But, Ms. Coates, what do you have for us?
Well, I'm sorry that I didn't show up to last meeting because I had a soccer game. I will emphasize just on the sports. Shoot, that's slipping my mind. Well, I'll go back to that. So I know y'all are visiting the schools on April 16th. That is our senior trip. We are going to Busch Gardens, so you will see pretty vacant, empty school of seniors. So we'll miss you. And
I'm sure.
yeah, we'll have fun, but as long as everybody's safe. A lot of senior events are coming up. The baccalaureate and, of course, the senior walk is next month and all like that. And senior class officers are still working. Our main thing is about this Thursday, but overall, it's just finishing the end of the year and just having a good time.
Awesome. Ms. Graham?
The good thing is a lot of things that haven't been mentioned, so I marked through them, so I'm not repeating anything. But I did want to bring to attention the fact that you have your invitation for the Senior of the Month banquet, because that comes up before our next board meeting. So that's Wednesday, May 6th at 6 p.m. We will have a student there too. And so that's a fun night, because remember, the students bring the teacher or coach that they want to thank for their time. So it's really, bring your tissues. It's a really good event. And if any board of supervisors want to come, by all means, just let us know and we'll save you a spot at a table. Otherwise, just get to me, like email me individually. Sometimes that just sound like so much fun for a retreat. I think I've been asking you this for 2 months now.
Which, to keep in mind, retreat means that we're probably still here.
Yeah, you're going
We're
to
not really
retreat.
going
Maybe
anywhere.
retreat to the
It's
old
just
school board
just
room at
another-
the central office, probably.
it's
That might
just
be a
another way
good,
of saying, like,
right,
school-
a
extra
long
school-
meeting, but I'm trying to
extra
make it
school
sound
meeting.
fun. Right. You'll have food. I'll
you
bring
like-
snacks.
Long
meeting with food, and that's.
There you go.
Like Wolftown Chicken or something like that?
Right, maybe for that long.
Alright.
healthy,
So
but good.
I'm thinking we're thinking like a Saturday though. Is that what you're thinking, Mr. Marks?
I tried to recommend, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna put my glasses on again because I can't see.
I was going to say,
It
should,
should-
I mean, is there a way that we can maybe just quickly brainstorm dates now? Because
would
I
like.
think you
Sure.
relying
I
on
prefer
us
that.
to provide them to
Mhm.
you might.
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Does any board member oppose to a weeknight versus a weekend?
And it might be nice to kind of wait till June if that's okay. I think like after the budget, like numbers and stuff would be very helpful. Like I think just kind of wait till June into July.
How many hours are we looking at?
It wasn't long.
Usually like
It was like 2 hours.
I think
last year.
2-3 hours,
Yeah, 'cause you did-
or like morning time. Like we can do like an 8 to noon and end with like a lunch.
You had to, because everything was new.
No
piece of
morning?
board, you have to do it.
That is not early. I think we did.
So
We've
you're
done a retreat. Yeah, you
recommending
did a retreat.
June.
That's where we did board priorities, that was
Yeah,
it.
that's when you did your board priorities. You did a retreat. Did you have a date?
That's the retreat. Yeah.
I could suggest to you, let me tell you this. You already have a meeting on June, help me find it. Let me get the morning time. Nope, your closeout meeting is on June 30th. You already have a meeting on the morning of June 30th that starts at 9 a.m. to close out all of the bills for Ms. Crop. It's usually a fast meeting. You can make that not a fast meeting and just do it then, if you're available. I mean, you're
could-
already coming in.
That could work. June 30th could work.
It's a Tuesday morning, starts at 9, so not too, maybe we could do 9 to noon. Probably already on your calendars, because you're probably already excited about the closeout meeting.
So, did you say yes?
Everyone else?
Anybody else say June 30th?
It's a Tuesday.
I really don't have any constraints. I don't know if other people do. Greg, are you the only one really that I mean, Lauren, I don't want to speak for you either. Like, as far as I can pretty much,
I can request a day off.
yeah, me too.
I can make
Sounds
that
like a
work.
good vacation day.
Because
Do you want to do that?
that's what
Okay.
best before I go to.
So do we want to like kind of lock in? It was already 9 to 10. Do you want to say 9 to noon? Will that work?
Let's say 9 to noon.
Okay.
That'll work.
If it goes over a little, it goes over a little.
Yeah, let's do it.
Does that sound good,
Yep.
Lauren?
Perfect.
Okay, maybe just a half day then for Mark.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
Anything else from you, Ms. Graham?
Perfect. No, I'm so happy that you guys did that. That's great.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
Motion adjourned, second. Do we have all the yeas?
Yay.
We're adjourned. Save.
With all the stuff, I forgot Anthony has asked me several times to come.
There's still something I did.
Just on anything, but I think because we have that relationship with them.
I don't know.
it's now